in a world where the state of Georgia said the film industry is booming and making money, how do we put our stake in the ground and own it? Where educators, along with government, film, and business leaders came together to understand and strategize to put Georgia on top. In a world where that is now reality. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Clayton State University and this grand celebration of the CSU Film Studio. Put your hands together. Holy cow. Wow. What a big day this is today. Congratulations to everyone. My name is Vince the Voice. It gives me great pleasure to be here with you. I'm an instructor here at Clayton State for the past 5 years in the voiceover certificate program, and I thought we was doing something down the street. All the time. This has been taking place and going on for about the past 3, 4, 5 years. And today you're going to meet and greet and just celebrate along with all the great accomplishments. You know, dreams really do come true. And we're going to move this right along today because there's a lot of good, very important people here in the room. And I'm so excited to be able to have this opportunity to share in this celebration with you. So first I want to bring up, ladies and gentlemen, he is the man with the plan and budgets in his hand. Please welcome the president of Clayton State University, Dr. Tim Hines.
You hear Vince and you think Barry White. You hear me and you think Pee Wee Herman. Each of us must find stardom in our own ways. I have the duty of basically saying thank you. It would be easy to take credit for any of this, and really the folks who did the heavy lifting, who did the construction, who did the design, who articulated a vision, and responded to a simple question that we posed 2 years ago. How do we support the workforce needs of the state of Georgia in the film and digital media industry in the quickest, and the fastest, and the most appropriate way possible for our institution? And what you see here is a start, but an extraordinary start of a response of some extraordinary talented people to do that. I would be delinquent, and in fact would not be following directions, if I did not acknowledge some elected officials in the audience. And so I'd like to do that and personally thank them for being here. This is in alphabetical order, so you'll have to determine whether or not you can claim credit or blame for anything other, an order effect other than alphabetical. Commissioner of Fayette County, Steve Brown. Steve? Commissioner of Georgia's Department of Labor, Mark Butler. Representative from District 78, the Georgia General Assembly, Representative Demetrius Douglas. And the chairman of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, who, if nothing else, is certainly adept at making an entrance, Jeff Turner. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of and express my appreciation for the person whose name is on this building. I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Lucy Huie, who is here with us today. I will end briefly, which is a surprise to everybody who knows me, other than to say there are more people who will be speaking later, but to them and to the many, many others who made this all possible, I say thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hines. You saw how this, this is the real deal movie set right here. This fan is blowing. You see how me and Dr. Hines look like Beyonce as we were talking? You don't see it? You know, imagine, it's going to happen right here. Coming up next to the podium, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful young man that gave me such a big smile, and he's my biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan too right now, sir. He's the provost here at Clayton State University, Dr. Kevin Demmett. Give him a round of applause.
I think I'm going to bring Vince with me everywhere I go from now on. I think it is good, and we do want to welcome everyone here. If we had been here back in 1987, they opened this up as the new aviation mechanics building for repair, where they would have airplane engines scattered throughout here so that students could actually work hands-on. Because at the time, just like today, the aviation industry was a major growth industry for this region, and Clayton State wanted to help meet the demand for those who could repair the engines. And we're glad that it was a hands-on program, because when you're 30,000 feet in the air, you would like to know that the person who worked on your plane didn't just read about it in a book, that they actually had people oversee them. They were taking engines apart, putting engines back together again and again and again to make sure they actually could take what was in their head and actually make it go to their hands. So it's very fitting that as we repurpose this building today, that one, it's meeting the state demand. It's one of the areas of growth in Georgia that's, I think, unprecedented in terms of an industry starting from such a small scale and so rapidly becoming one of the largest industries in the state of Georgia. And it's also very appropriate that it's a very hands-on training area, that we recognize that just like the pilots want mechanics who know how to work on a plane, producers and directors want to have people on their set who know what they're doing, that haven't just read and studied about film, but actually have worked on a set, have actually, know how to, where to stand, what to do, what not to do. And so we thank Barton Bond, and who really was the genius behind this in terms of realizing that in order to meet the immediate need for people on the set, we needed to get students on a set. And that meant that we had to have a place where they could work, where independent film companies could come in and work with our students. And so we appreciate that that is how this all came a reality. But like everything else, it's been a very collaborative effort. We have several faculty here from our communication and media studies that have been very supportive and have had a lot of hours talking about meeting the whole spectrum of needs in this industry, from those who are working hands-on in the set to those who may do the post-editing, the post-production, and even those who may be working on the business side and handling the film accounting and the whole specialized sector that meets the entertainment industry that way. So in that way, it really represents at Clayton, one, our response to state need, but also our response to working collaboratively to meet the needs of a whole range of students from the very beginning all the way up even to the graduate level. So I just thank everyone who's been involved for their vision and for allowing us to actually be here and to repurpose this for such an exciting mission today. Thank you.
Our next speaker has got to be excited, and I tell you that, this is a great day today, but think about it. Over the past couple of years, every day you're in the paper, it's a brand new movie being made in Georgia. Am I right? Tom Cruise is downtown, or, this just been over, and Denzel, all the major movies have been made right here in Georgia. It's just astounding, and part of that process, of course, is the great people that work in our film, music, and digital entertainment, the commission. I'd like to welcome up the Deputy Commissioner, Lee Thomas. Thank you.
You never want government employees to go after talent. It's not good. I just want to say thank you for doing this. This is great. We're very excited. Mike Akins, how many movies do we have here right now? 28. Okay, 28 movies. I remember in first quarter of 2007 when I gave a speech, we had 1 2-week project. It was MTV's Yo Mama. And the extent of it was 2 guys that talked about each other's mamas. So it wasn't big budget stuff. Now we have, like you said, 28 films, lots of television shows here. We've gone from $244 million a year to $5.1 billion this year. There are 77,900 people directly or indirectly working in this industry, $84,000 a year average salary, with $3.8 billion in wages last year. Still not enough. So we're very happy that Clayton State has built these studios. We're excited about the Film Academy that Governor Deal is putting together with the partnership between the University System of Georgia and the Technical System of Georgia. And we look forward to, creating the next generation of storytellers and content creators. Thank you.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, our great Commissioner of Labor here. You must have people that work and understand how, it actually works. We had a great conversation of just how much was getting out of the state, how much money and how much it costs for people to bring in crews. And we won't have to do that anymore after we continue this process. So I know he's very pleased today. Please welcome our Commissioner of Labor, Mark Butler.
Greatest introduction ever. Being in politics, we have a lot in common with the film industry. There's that old joke, I don't know if y'all have ever heard it, but they say that politics is for ugly actors, right? And I think I'm a pretty good example of that. So you won't see me in a film. Of course, economic development stole my thunder a little bit. I wanted to tell you some really fun numbers. But this industry has had a great impact. Matter of fact, I was thinking about this earlier today that I don't really feel all that bad about losing that project we've all read about in the paper here recently, because this is an industry which, I don't know if y'all know this, but over the last 8 years has seen about an average of a 20% growth in employment. Now that beats almost every other sector by a long shot. Not only that, but we've seen the weekly wages in this sector double, and you know what? They don't produce any kind of pollution, have no negative impact, put a lot of Georgians to work. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the total impact, we heard earlier about how many people work directly for the film industry, but when you add in all the other jobs that Georgians are able to have because the film industry is here, it is almost 80,000 jobs that are provided through the different services and different people who get to have a job because this industry is here. I can tell you that back when I was in the General Assembly, not that long ago, when we passed those tax incentives, we had no idea that it was going to have this kind of impact. And it really has. And I'm very excited about the growth. And I'm very excited about what we're doing here at Clayton State, because as I talk to the film industry and their needs, they want to hire Georgians. They want to hire local. They want to hire them here because they don't want to have to bring them in from all the way across, from all the way from California. They want to be able to pick up the talent right here. And you know what? We want to give them that talent. And because of programs like this, we're going to be able to we're going to put more Georgians back to work. And you should applaud Tim Hines and this university for stepping up to the plate, having a great program like this that's going to put Georgians to work and have a long-term economic impact for years to come. So thank you, Clayton State.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Next, ladies and gentlemen, this woman, she's been passionate and about changing lives through education for over 25 years. She's the former executive director of continuing education here and served on the leadership team of the university and was integrally involved in community outreach and engagement as well as partnership development. And I mean a lot of partnerships. The Atlanta Regional Commission, where she served as the Workforce Solutions Board, served on that board, the Committee for Arts and Culture, Local 479 of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, the Georgia Department of Economic Development, the school systems here in Clayton, Fayette, and Atlanta Public Schools, the Atlanta Partners for Education, and the Georgia Adult Education Association. She was recognized as the outstanding educator in Georgia by her peers in 2012 and has been on that board of GAEA since 1986. That's helping a lot of folks. Most recently, she got involved with this whole world of workforce training for this growing entertainment industry. She currently serves as our Community Relations Director for the Film and Digital Media Center here at Clayton State. It began when she was tapped to serve on a special commission under the auspices of ARC to look at the need to provide a trained workforce for the industry, which we know has exploded here in Georgia. She was involved in the team that helped bring the Pinewood Studios to Fayette County and is collaborating with the union to provide trained technical crews for all the studios that are being built right here in Georgia. Personally, I can say for the past 4 or 5 years, I can't tell you how many times I've been squealing like a little schoolgirl because some new development has taken place. I mean, she met with this person, she talked with this person, and it's all coming together. And her energy and enthusiasm has just permeated throughout this place, and here we are today. So I want you to give a big round of applause for the lady who has worked tirelessly for this and so much more. Please give it up for Janet Winkler.
Thank you so much, and I'm so pleased that you're here to celebrate a dream come true. Dreams made real is our tagline here at Clayton State University, and we can certainly say that that's happened today. Vince has stole my thunder. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how all this came about. Mine's the historical perspective. Dreams begin with an inspiration and a vision, but it takes education, preparation, hard work, and a lot of perseverance to make it happen. But it also takes people that believe in you and will help you every step of the way. And there are so many people in this room that I have to thank that if I began, we might be here all afternoon. But each of you know the part that you've played in helping me, helping Clayton State make this day a very special day in the state of Georgia. Thank you so much for all your support. And Vince has told you, and Vince and I met when we served on the Atlanta Regional Commission's special commission called the GEM. It brought together all the people in the Atlanta area that are involved in entertainment. And our charge, and our former chair is here, Deidre McDonald, who's now the artistic director for the Bronze Lens Film Festival. Will you stand up, Deidre? And the person that led that commission is Mia Presley. She's project manager with the ARC. Mia, will you stand up? She's a good friend, a great supporter, and a tireless worker. And their charge to all of us that were in those meetings is to come up with collaborative efforts so that we can train the Georgians here in Georgia to go to work in this industry. And it's really interesting because for me personally, I didn't know that much about the industry. And to meet so many talented, wonderful, inspirational people all in one room who began to share with me what passion they had for this industry. And it's just like a little light bulb went off in my head. And I thought, oh, okay, who can we get in this room to teach with us? That we started small. And Vince came to teach our certificate program in voiceover. I met Stanley Johnson, who is an extraordinary entertainer. He was with Kool and the Gang and is now a producer. And he had a real dream and a passion to give back to the youth. And he teaches a program for us called Digital Music, Video Production, and Entertainment Business. It's a certificate program. ARC has been so supportive of our efforts. They have provided me the opportunity to meet these people, to build new relationships. They've provided funding for us. For example, they provided funding for 9 youth here in Clayton County and Fulton County, DeKalb County, to take Stanley's program. They provided us funds to offer camps for disadvantaged students in animation and game design. So they have been a very, very supportive partner. And at this time, I'd like Doug Hooker, Executive Director, to stand up. Doug, thank you so much for all the opportunities. And would you mind introducing your team? Sure. And please come up if you'd like.
Doug Hooker, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to take Vince everywhere right now. And Janet, they make a great team. Tim, just so jealous. I'd like to begin with Mia Presley, who was introduced before. Mia has been a primary driver behind trying to help the region develop workforce programs to assist the film and digital media and digital gaming industries here, and a major behind the scenes person. Let's see, we have Phyllis Brown also with our team, and also Dorothy Hertzberg, who was with our Career Resource Center. So thank you all very much, and We've always appreciated partnering and look forward to continue to do so.
Thank you, Dave. Another wonderful supporter that I met as a part of the GEM initiative is Asante Bradford with the State Economic Development Office. And I'm going to ask him to come forward because I know he would like to say a few words, but I just personally want to thank Asante. He has just stayed in touch with me. He's referred so many people in the industry that help us build this wonderful program. And Asante, I really appreciate it. Would you come forward? Did he step out? No, there you are. I can't see. Asante.
Hello, everybody. So this is so exciting to see so many people come together to create something that's so important and that's in the future is going to be so big for all of us and so big for the state to see the future workforce that's going to be coming out of this. And always, I want to talk about our office. You got a chance to meet Lee, and Craig Dominy's here as well. Craig's here as well, head location scout. So again, for the Department of Economic Development, we're very excited about this and look forward to working with a lot of you guys in the future as well. Thank you.
So working on the workforce board gave me the opportunity to meet people and come away inspired. We came back to continuing education and started offering some programs to meet the needs in the industry. But then something amazing happened. Dr. Hines met with Bob Vasquez and ProMaker Development Company, who met with them and proposed that Clayton State provide a training program for film crew technicians. And he said he'd also like us to develop a full-blown film school, but you have to start where the need really is, and that's for below-the-line crew. And it was an exciting day then when Dr. Hines introduced me to Bob Vasquez. He was bigger than life. We've lost Bob. He passed away a year ago. Bob was bigger than life. He was so full of energy. He was dedicated to his craft. He was dedicated to helping build the industry in the state of Georgia, and he was passionate about his family of fellow film workers. He and his wife, Kathy, became very, very good friends of mine. And Kathy, I'd love for you to come up now, if you would, please. And if Mike Akins and Whit Norris from the Film Union would come and stand with her. Dr. Hines. Bob and Kathy Vasquez were partners in life. They were partners in their business, special effects business. They were partners in leadership in the Film Union here in Georgia, and they are two of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. And I've learned that telling stories is the way to build relationships, and I will never forget Bob as long as I live. We are here today to honor Bob because this is his dream became real today. Thank you. Kathy. Kathy Tonkin Vasquez and Bob Vasquez in memoriam, in recognition of your many years of dedicated service to the film industry in Georgia, and in appreciation for your valuable contribution and friendship with Clayton State University, your dream to train individuals for careers in the film industry has been made real. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Whit Norris, who's the Vice President of IATSE Local 479.
This is really great. This is what Bob wanted to happen, and with Kathy, and that day has come.
Next, I'd like to introduce Mike Akins, who's the business agent for IATSE Local 479.
Janet talked about a dream. Well, this dream did start back 10 years, 2003, and it's come full circle now, and these dreams are happening. And that's because of the dedication that Bobby and Kathy had to the craft that they have. Local 479 and the state, the film office, the vendors, the studios, all of them have done something remarkable in this state that you don't see very often. And that's a collaboration from all sides to create an industry that is second to none in the state of Georgia right now. We're growing. We're going to grow exponentially over the next 2 to 3 years. And because of these education classes, we're going to have a workforce to meet the demands for what's coming to this state. Watch it over the next couple of years. You're going to see this thing explode. Thank you.
And at Clayton State, we are so privileged to have such a wonderful partner as the local film union. Thank you so much for coming up. Next, I'd like to introduce Stephen Weisenacre, who is an entertainment attorney and involved in so many, or most, I would say, of the film studios that are being built here in Georgia. He's been a wonderful supporter. I served on the team with him that brought Pinewood to Georgia. I'm so pleased for him to be here today, and I want to thank you so much for your support. You have recently introduced us to two wonderful people with 404 Studios, and for that we're very grateful. You'll hear more about that partnership in just a few minutes. Stephen?
So it's so great to be here and seeing this come to reality. As Janet mentioned, we were working together on putting together Pinewood Studios, and at that point it was it started at an airport and eventually it moved to a cow field, which is just amazing that now it's going to be host to two of the largest movies that have ever been made here in the state of Georgia. So it just had Ant-Man recently. And it was through collaborationship and partnerships, much like what happened here. And the great thing that we're seeing here is that we now have a boom. We have a bunch of productions moving here. You've heard numbers now. We have a lot of television shows. Our video game industry is on the rise. The governor just signed an amendment to the video game tax incentive, which is going to make that industry grow as well. The one thing that we definitely need, and this is being addressed here, is skilled labor. And I was so happy when Janet came back to me and said we were going to work on this, we're going to make it a reality, and they did it. I had been in Los Angeles with Brian and Ed, who you'll hear about later. I say bad things about Brian, but I really love him. But the great thing is we were in LA and we'd met with several different programs, including some not-for-profit programs that were providing disadvantaged youth an opportunity to learn about the film industry. And we're like, this is a great idea. We got to figure out how to get that done. And light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, you guys have to meet Janet because she is doing it. And this program is going to do that. They had a certificate program. They were the first ones. They pumped out students. And that is just so crucial because now the big guys are really looking at us. I mean, you have Marvel. It was funny, we mentioned Yo Mama. I mean, MTV and Viacom, who's one of my big clients, they have 18 shows on the ground at least. I mean, they have the reality shows on the ground. They have scripted shows on the ground. Finding Carter, for those of you who watch it, I do the work for it. I've never seen it. I'm the wrong demographic. But it's great. I mean, they're potentially going into their third season, and not only are they going into their third season, they're just wrapped their second season. So we could see back-to-back production out of a warehouse, and they employ about 250 people on a full-time basis. And the cool thing too is that I've been finding on the labor side. Just for fun, I did an analysis of payroll statistics in the state with a lot of the payroll companies, and we're showing that somewhere in the mid 80% range is the amount of Georgia labor that's on an average production. That's a very, very significant number. So we're so happy that Clayton State has put this together and can help us with that workforce because it's a crucial element that we need right now. Thank you.
It's amazing, and when you have an opportunity to as everyone already knows, just how much is going on here. That gym, that stood for what, gaming?
Georgia Entertainment Media Work Ready Region.
Okay. But the thing is, the world of gaming here, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, there was either between 75 or 300 different gaming companies here in the metro area, gaming companies. And of course, the music industry is just off the chain. And now the animation and the CNNs. And I mean, it's just so vast and so many disciplines of study. And so you need someone who has lots of skills to corral all this stuff in. And I can attest, as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell him publicly that I was jealous of him because Janet used to pay me a lot of attention. And then when this program came on, she wouldn't call me no more. But I saw him opening up the boxes. I mean, just working very, very hard. So please welcome the director of this Film and Digital Media Center. Please welcome Barton Bond, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to tell a quick story while Barton's coming forward. When we lost Bob Vasquez, and I had been out there saying that Clayton State was working with Bob to develop this program, and he passed, the president looked at me and said, okay, what are we going to do now? And I said, give me a little time. And thank goodness I was able to reach out to Barton Bond, who ran a very, very successful program in New Mexico, worked with the union there, and to put out so many wonderful workers into the industry. As a matter of fact, he was telling me recently that about 40% of the crew member on Breaking Bad were his students, and I think that's pretty awesome. And we're very, very fortunate to have Barton here at Clayton State University to run this program, because I certainly don't know how to do that. This is his expertise, and we're so pleased. But I do want to say one more thing. We have such a need in the state of Georgia, and many of our students have a need for financial assistance. And we have started a fund here at Clayton State University in Bob's honor, the Bob Vasquez Scholarship Fund. Please spread the word. We would like to build that fund and provide funds for people that really want this training and would be a great asset to the industry, and we want to support them with scholarship dollars. So please see us for that. At this time, Barton Bond, take it away.
Thank you, Janet. And I can't pass up this opportunity. Everybody else has been saying things about Vince. Vince is one of my oldest friends in Georgia. I go back about 1.5 years. And my people, it's one of the first people I met. He's been a dear and close friend. But I've always wondered this about Vince. If you went to his house at 3 o'clock in the morning and you woke him up and said, Vince, your house is on fire, would he go, oh, the house is on fire, let's get all the women and children out of the house first, call down, but I'll get the fire department here? Or would he go, house is on fire, we're gonna get out, help me. Just wondered, Vince, just wondered. I'd like to say, first of all, that the opportunity to be here in Georgia and to do this thing that we're doing here just overwhelms me. We had a program, as Janet said, in New Mexico that we started very similar to what was going on in Georgia, and we struggled for quite some time. But I must say, here at Clayton State University, everybody, from Dr. Hines all the way down to me, and the people at every level have just been so wonderful and so supportive. And also, many of you, some of whom I would count you as friends or personal colleagues, the support that this program has gotten and that the university has gotten is just extraordinary. And I hope everybody realizes, and Lee and Stephen have pointed this out in a number of different circumstances, Georgia is unique in the whole country in this effort that we're making now, not only to attract films, but to train film workers. And being a part of that is an exciting thing for me, but you all are part of that as well, and you should be very proud of that. This building that we're in now looked for a time when I got here like Sanford and Son after a hurricane. It just was not a very pleasant experience. And owing to the vision of Dr. Hines, and particularly Corliss Cummings, our Vice President for Business Operations. Is Corliss here? I thought I saw her. There she is, yay! Corliss! And Kevin Devitt, my big boss, all had the shared vision that Janet started and spread when I got here that put us into the place that we're in. And then I must say some extraordinary work, really, on the part of the facilities people. Harun Biswas, Harun's here someplace, Pretty Bhatia, Darren Thomas, he's back in the back, Justin Brooks, there's someplace, Michael Campbell, Svetlana Sroka, I think Wendy Barnes is here. These folks are in the trenches every day. I have taken them, I don't know how many crazy things over the past year and a half, and they look at me kind of askance. Darren has this eye roll thing that he does on me every once in a while, but they have been just a tremendous amount of help, and you need to understand, those of you out in the community, that Clayton State, with Dr. Hines' leadership, is a place that understands what the needs, the workforce needs are of the region and the state, and they're able to respond. And I don't want to be talking out of school, but I think that generally around the country, not a whole lot of higher education institutions can claim that. So I think we're very unique and very fortunate in New Mexico, holy mackerel, in Georgia to have that happen. I'd also like to recognize some other folks who've been a big part of this. Akil DuPont, who's back in the back someplace. Where's Akil? Yes. There he is. Akil is my fellow instructor in this program and does a wonderful job. He is probably the first person I met outside of Janet when I came to Georgia, and has done a wonderful job in taking students down the path that we are on now to getting them into the workforce, and is another part of the big picture of Clayton State that we're fortunate to be able to have. Chris Amundsen is here someplace. I saw Chris in the back with his hat. There he is with his hat. He took his hat off. Chris is going to teach for us. Sonia Voss, I'm not sure if Sonia's here. Another one of our instructors coming from the world of production, being on sets, being on major motion pictures, and we're looking forward to having them join our project as well. And I'd like to talk for just a minute and have my friends Ed and Brian come up for just a second, if you would, guys. We've launched into just recently, like about, 20 minutes ago or so, would you say? A really nifty project. And Mayor Williams, I saw you. Are you here someplace, Mayor Williams, from Union City? I don't think he's here. He was, okay. We have launched a really nifty program down in Union City, I think, which is we have discovered, we believe, is unique in the nation, the kind of thing we want to do. Would you gentlemen like to talk about it for just a second?
Yes. We're honored to be here today. Brian and I are part of a team that is responsible for the demolition of the Shannon Mall in Union City, and we are very excited to say, after months and months and months of it coming down, it's about to start coming up. We're about to move on to foundations. We're finishing grading right now. We had a demolition ceremony back at the end of October, and we were standing in front of the mall that was about to be destroyed, and we talked a little bit about how it's critically important for our business, clearly for the studio to be a financial success, but in our minds, it won't be a success at all if we aren't impacting the lives of the kids who grow up around the studio. Brian and I both had opportunities to get into this business. Myself, as an unpaid internship for a year and a half at what became Cartoon Network. Brian with a broom in his hand on a film set in Los Angeles. And we know that if you have the ability to show up on time and the desire to work in a collaborative team experience, you can make a great life for yourself. We're honored from that point forward to have met and become close friends with Mayor Vince Williams of Union City. When he heard us say, what I've just mentioned about trying to find connections in the community in Union City, and he put us in touch with Superintendent Avosa with Fulton County Schools. Superintendent Avosa connected us with Yolanda Bell. Then Steve Weissnecker who was our friend. He was nice enough to connect us with Janet and Barton and Dr. Hines. And the next thing you know, we have an announcement where a little bit earlier this week, we are taking in what will be the pilot program, kids from each of the 6 Fulton County schools that surround Atlanta Metro Studios, and we're going to plug them into scholarships, the 2-semester program here at Clayton State. And we truly are honored to be a part of it, and a lot of folks who are a lot smarter than Brian and myself have put a ton of time and effort, specifically Barton and Yolanda, and the ability to let these kids know that, number one, there is an industry that you may not know anything about, but number two, you can be a part of it. So again, we're thrilled to be here. And Brian?
Well, I can't say a whole lot more than that, except to thank Dr. Hines, Janet, Barton. We've looked at a lot of programs around the country, in Los Angeles, here in Georgia, and there is not a better program in our mind than this program that puts below-the-line work, boots on the ground, gives them real training that will actually impact the workforce here and allow this industry to continue growing. And
we literally we cannot be more thrilled than to be involved with this. I mean, there's many places that we could have put our name and our energy, and this is the one. This is actually it. This is the real deal. So thank you so very much.
Thanks, guys. Let me say just a couple more thank yous if I could. Could I get all my students to come up to the front, current, former, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Come on down. Sure. So why don't you all show up for class like this? All dressed up. Okay, you did. That's
did.
true. Yeah. So this is a group of students, some of whom started more than a year ago, February, and some of whom are currently enrolled. A couple of them in this group are in the 479 union, and some, we believe, are headed pretty close soon to that level. Some of this group here are in business for themselves or in partnership with other folks. So this constitutes what this is all about. These are successful students. It's not for everybody. We do a lot of tough love. We do a lot of boot camp stuff, and these are the survivors, basically. And somehow in all this, they think that I'm a fun guy to be around, and I know how. It's not anything that I do. It's not anything that I do. So I'd just like to recognize them and congratulate them for their perseverance. And you are looking at the future workforce of film in the state of Georgia right here. Okay, sit. Yeah, go sit. Yeah.
All right. Already?
Y'all ready? And Akil, where's Akil? Akil wants to say a couple of words.
How's everyone doing? Good. My name's Akil DuPont. I am one of the instructors here. And I don't know if I ever shared this story with my students, but I started emailing Janet for a job in about 2012 to try to get with this program once I found out about it. And it was a hustle. And, I think one of the great things about this program is that it's a low cost for people that, maybe already have degrees or maybe, looking for a different way of for getting a career. And they're able to come into this program and come into this industry and really impact and hit at the bottom ground. And so one of the things that I want to make sure of with my students, because an instructor's job is never done, one of the things I want to make sure of with my students, I saw you all sort of huddling amongst yourselves as you have, people from the Georgia Entertainment Office, the Mayor's Entertainment Office, you got studio owners here, you got the president of the university. So I want to make sure that you all go out and you hustle and you get connections with all these people. You got the vice president of IATSE here. So make sure you go out and get that work, all right? All righty, y'all be easy. It's good to talk to you.
Whoop.
Aptitude his horn too. Akil was named number 7, top 100 indie filmmakers in the world. We're thrilled to have him here.
I was going to say that. And finally, everybody's going, finally, oh God. I need to recognize the 3 most important women in my world right now. And those of you males out here, you understand fully what I'm talking about. Men are nothing without women. I knew that. I've known that forever. Okay? Bring it on. So Janet, first of all, who brought me here and who's put up with me for all this length of time. My wife, Joyce Bond, who's out there someplace, who's put up with me for 40 years in December and is the mother of our 7-year-old triplets. Yes, yeah. They're at home right now by themselves. I think they'll be okay. Free-range parents, And most grateful that I am, I cannot believe how grateful I am for this person's presence in my life, Dolores Cox, who is in here someplace, whose title is assistant, but who really runs the joint. We're so fortunate to have Dolores. She put this whole thing together and is personally the glue that holds us all together. And so then the last thing I want to point out to you all again about Georgia being a unique place and how we need to appreciate the fact that this is the case. And Stephen pointed this out. The opportunity that we have in Georgia and those of us deep into the industry know this very well, and those of you who have been tracking this, the opportunity is wonderful, but we need to, no dark cloud here, but to understand that we have to keep after it. Okay, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. This is a path that we're on. Our destination is way far in the distant future. Working together, keeping in mind all the things that we have to do, that's really the incumbency upon us in the state of Georgia. I'm pleased to be here. I love my home state of New Mexico, but I'm a Georgian now. Thank you.
Wow, what an afternoon, huh? Now that we know what is available right here at Clayton State University, now it's time for us to all go out and spread the word. Did you see that image of all those students there? That was pretty impressive, wasn't it? Already, that was pretty darn impressive. Let's fast forward. You know where the ideas start. Now look, we're here. Think about what it's going to be like in the future. So we want you to, to enjoy yourselves here and have some refreshments and things. But before we do all that, first of all, I want you once again, give a round of applause to Janet and her team, everybody that worked to make this thing happen today. Give us a standing ovation. Come on, everybody on your feet, start screaming. There you go, scream, scream. Take a picture, come on.
We have information sessions this Saturday and next Saturday for our upcoming summer classes. So have them go to our website, send all the people that you know of that may be interested in training in this wonderful industry. Thank you.
All right, and to dismiss us on the count of three, I want everybody to say, congratulations, Clayton State. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Clayton State. Enjoy your afternoon. God bless.